So I have a question. The NAP, when you apply it to things, big things like crimes, theft, the idea of restitution makes a lot of sense. I'm wondering if you have any advice for smaller things, like when you get in an argument with somebody, or especially on social media, things can get really tense between people, especially when you don't have that face-to-face connection. How can we apply the NAP, especially as libertarians within our own community, to try to build up and use it as a unifying principle to make ourselves stronger? I was just wondering if you had any advice on that.
Yes, actually, I'm really glad you asked that question because, we tend to be very hard on each other and negative to each other. One of the things that I noticed and shocked me in '83 when I ran for president, I didn't think anyone would take me seriously. I just wanted to get some ideas out. But they did. And in doing that, I saw that libertarians break the promises from other libertarians. I saw how nasty we are to each other. And there's another level at which, the NAP's about physical aggression, but you can have emotional aggression too. And that's been our downfall. Judgment against each other in a very negative way has, in my opinion, been the single thing that has stopped us from getting the liberty that we want, because we can get liberty without electing anyone. And I think we need to extend, I don't know that we need to, but I think we would be well served, let me put it that way, to extend the NAP into the emotional arena. So, for example, in the early days of the Libertarian Party, if there wasn't total alignment with the NAP right away, people often felt driven away. In fact, what would happen, and I know some of you are old enough to remember this, when the Libertarian candidate for president was selected, the loser often left the party. In fact, they were booed and driven out, essentially. But when you think about it, somebody's giving you a choice, right? They put a lot of time, money, and effort into giving you that choice. You don't want to alienate them. They're one of the golden people, right? They're one of the people who are going to help make things happen. So, we really need to think about being nice to each other. I mean, and if you take it, okay, and I know that spirituality isn't talked a lot about in the Libertarian Party, but maybe it should, because this is almost, I'm going to elevate it to a spiritual principle, not a religious principle, a spiritual principle. So, I've had people come up to me and say, oh, it's so discouraging being a libertarian. You see things getting worse all the time. Nothing's going to happen. We're going to go downhill, blah, blah, blah. And I say to them, if you could change things so that you never learned about libertarianism and were ignorant of it, you could be like the rest of the people, that don't know any better, would you make that choice? Guess how many people said yes? Nobody. And you know why? Because when we learn something, when we know something, I'm going to go this way so I can see better. When we know something to be truth, it elevates us. It elevates us in spirit, however you want to take that. and truth elevates us. We say the truth will set you free. Yeah, this is part of it. When you hear the NAP, you know it's truth. And if nobody else does it or gets it, you still wouldn't take that knowledge away from yourself. This tells us, that this is about more than politics, which is why we need to be nice to each other. We need to hold each other's hand and recognize, okay, we're not all the same. The other person might take drugs and I think it's stupid or something, but, they're out there getting ballot access signatures, whatever. They're helping make the world a better place. And so I'm going to work with them on that aspect and not beat each other up. We're our own worst enemies. If we could bring back all the people into the party that were run out by the nastiness.
Sure you haven't been hanging around Washington State?
If this Washington not just Washington State, it's everywhere. I love coming to small groups like this because usually at the county level, things can be cooler, more friendly. But you start getting into the state committees, national, yeah. When you run for president, it gets pretty nasty too.